All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Single Length School. As you guys know, I'm Craig. If you don't know, now you do know. And we are back. This is week 5 with our buddy Zach from Muscular Style. And we've been working with Zach basically since beginner status. A couple rounds in, and we've worked some irons. We worked our way through driver and woods last week. And, Zach's seen some good results. He's getting there. Played in a scramble this week. We were just kicking it around, and I'll let you guys hear a little bit more about that from him. But he also did something special. So I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his video he has coming out. But if you're new to the channel or you haven't yet done so, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notifications bell right beside it so you know when we release a new video. Social media, you can catch us on Facebook and Instagram at Single Length School or over on Twitter at One Length School. And you can check out the website, singlelengthschool.com. Over there, you guys have the ability to sign up for these virtual lessons like I'm doing with Zach, where I can teach you guys live and remote. You can buy a package through that. And there's an Our Partners page, which allows you to go help support what I do by clicking on the links, checking out some of the companies out there that you can get your golf equipment with. All you have to do is click on it, go buy what you need, and that helps support our page. So, Zach, welcome back for week 5. First of all, how's it going for you out there on the course?
Awesome. Thanks. It's good to be here again. So on the course at Scramble went pretty well. I was a bit nervous about the longer clubs, like we talked about last week, and I actually had some pretty good, very straight 300-yard drives. Anytime I tried to kill it, it was a bit off. I need some more consistency with that. But every time I thought about the things we went over in the last video, I had a good, nice straight drive. So that was good. I actually, on one of the holes I had closest to the pin with my irons, I got beat out by one guy, and there were, I don't know what it was 100, 120 golfers. So it was pretty good. And I'm like you said, beginner status, and we had some scratch and even under scratch golfers. So it was, I had some good shots. The video that I did, I took a look at Bryson DeChambeau and did a training video. It's not his training. I looked at what he does for training. Most of you are not going to want to spend 2 hours a day in the gym every day. So I basically did the best bang for your buck, 3 days a week, an hour at a time, to give you overall strength and to help you increase your drives. So that video is out, and I think we'll link that below. But yeah, hopefully we'll help some of you and increase those driving distances.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Zach. Great to hear, you're starting to see success and it's transitioning to the course. As you said, that Bryson video, I'm looking forward to watching it. By the time this video is out, I will have already watched it. But if you guys want to check out Zach's video and how to set up a workout program to increase your distance, a lot like Bryson did, it's linked down below. And right up above here, you're going to see a little gray bar right now that's going to link you over to that video as well. So check that out. And so what we're going to start with, Zach, is, you talked a little bit of the trouble. You hit a couple bad drives the other day when you really weren't focused. You kind of got away from the specifics that we talked about. So today's lesson, we'll get into some putting with Zach. We're actually going to go through putting, but right now, what we want to do is kind of get you back and make sure you're well aware with that driver. So my guess is when you got away from the mechanics, there's probably 2 or 3 things that happened that we want to make sure we focus on. One, you might have tried to go balls to the wall and you took it back. Your backswing was probably a little too fast and got you all out of rhythm and out of sorts. Your hips were probably moving a lot and your weight transfer probably wasn't proper. So the last 2 kind of go together because your hips were probably moving a little bit too much. So why don't you go ahead and give us a couple swings with that driver and let's see what we've got going on and see if we're okay with a couple drives, but take it back nice and even pace and try and keep those hips pretty much still.
Okay, perfect. So setup that we talked about in the last video was we moved my ball up a little bit. And we corrected my grip back to kind of what I did before, keep this arm straight. So those are the things I focus on when hitting a drive. So see if that works. That was pretty decent drive, landed at about 250. Not perfectly straight, but definitely playable. And you were accurate when I had the bad drives. I was trying to outdrive the guy with me and didn't quite work. All right. That was probably my best drive yet. Straight down the middle, landed about 270.
All right. Zach, do me one favor here. I know some of the guys wanted to ask a little bit. Can you possibly take the camera and put it behind you, since we kind of got some of the mechanics down? They want to see it down the line a little bit.
An okay angle?
Yeah, that looks good.
See me okay? Definitely not a good one.
Go ahead. Remember, Zach, bring it back nice and slow, okay? That one got a little quick on you.
Nice and slow, straight on. Like that?
Yeah, what kind of distance did you have there?
It hit the shed back there at the 300-yard mark, so I don't know.
So it hit that shed. So it was pretty much dead straight too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that I think that's the best drive I've had on the range this season. Oh, followed by the worst drive.
Yep, you were trying to duplicate it. So what we want to do, and for you guys at home, you know, this was something Zach and I talked about a little bit before, is having the consistency. So what happens is, like, you just smoked that one and hit that shed back there. And then this one, you tried to crack, wind up and hit it even further and got yourself all out of sorts and out of rhythm. So all you need to do is keep in mind, you don't need to kill it. Just focus on your mechanics, focus on everything you got going there, and just try and make solid contact. The club and your body will do the work. You don't need to overswing and try to kill it.
Okay. Okay. At about 250. Is that better? Any mechanics you can see? I know the angle's a little different, but
yeah, it looks better. It's harder for me to see, you know, what's going on with your hips and everything from this angle, but you know, that looked a lot better. It looked like you were a lot slower coming back.
Okay. I'm trying that.
And that looked like a monster.
That was pretty good. That was landed about 270, so not too bad.
All right. Well, go ahead and hit one more with driver, Zach, and then you know, let's give the guys a look at some of the iron shots that you've been hitting, since you got a few balls left there.
Okay, perfect. Tried to kill it. I'll hit one last one so we have a good one. And I think that's my biggest problem with consistency, is I try to kill it and I just get off. When I do that, I'll play that all day. That landed about 270.
Yeah. So, and that happens not just with you, Zach, but a lot of guys at home. A lot of guys I work with is you think because you got the driver in your hands, you know, you need to crush it. And when you start getting that in your head and wanting to, especially when you're newer to golf, your mechanics get out of whack. And that's where you get into topping it, you know, getting under it, things like that. So just nice, smooth focus on contact.
I can do that. So, you want a couple of iron swings? Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was a 220-yard 9-iron. That's never happened before. Okay. Another. Oh, that's why they moved the things up. So those, me hitting the 300-yard mark is probably closer to, I would guess, like 280.
Okay.
But that means these are probably going 200 still. I don't know if that's a good distance or not, but.
Okay.
So 3 of the 4 all hit that exact same spot.
And the other one you topped.
Yep. Want another one?
Yeah.
Oh, and I got the ground quite a bit. That was probably only 120 yards, but.
Okay. Let's see one of the longer irons. Maybe
Okay.
a 6-iron.
Yep. Got that one ground a little bit.
Yep. Okay, so were you hitting behind on all of those a little bit?
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Okay, so remember what we talked about before. If you're starting to hit behind it,
You move the ball back about a ball length.
correct.
Right. Okay. Let's try that out. There we go. There's my best one. So that landed about 250, which minus this is probably like 220-ish.
Okay, 220, 230, somewhere in there. Good.
Yeah. Which is a lot better than I was before. My ranges were all over the place, but I'm getting more consistent learning. Kind of my distance is a little bit better, so it's been super helpful. Got 2 more of these. Do you want any other clubs?
Well, what I want to ask you, because I'm noticing just something, because this is kind of really the first time we're looking at this angle. Your ball flight in terms of direction, with all your irons and driver, because it's hard to see, I can see the ball take off, but is it pretty much straight, or is it drawing a little bit, fading a little bit?
We get a little bit of both. I'd say about 60 to 70% of them are straight, and then the others are probably draws.
Okay. In terms of anything to the right, any slices or big movements to the right?
Not big movements to the right. No, I haven't. I mean, when I try to get after it on my drives, I'll occasionally, on my scramble, I had 3 of those, and 2 of them were on the same hole because I just wanted to try it. But no, I haven't been getting any slices recently. So.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what I see from this angle right now. Yeah. And so what's happening is when you take your swing, you're coming back and you're kind of coming in shallow. And then when you downswing, you're kind of rotating those shoulders a little bit. And so essentially with your body, you're creating an over the top type movement, but it's not bad. You're still actually coming into the ball, like you're not coming out to in on the ball. You're still coming in to out a little bit. So that's a good thing. And then with those adjustments, because, and the reason I'm saying this is because there's going to be some guy out there that's going to say, hey, you know, he's coming over the top and this and that. What I want people to understand is even though you're making the body movement within over the top, we're not slicing the ball. Your results are not, you're not getting big old slices. You're still, you're delivering the club still on a slight in to out path, which is producing either that little draw or your straight shot. So, you know, I want to kind of squash that before we get there. And I think if you go ahead and hit these last two, I think guys will kind of see what I mean. And when you watch it back, you'll see you kind of make just a little movement where if you put it in slow-mo, when your club's coming off and starting forward, you'll see it, the plane kind of jumps up on it. And that's okay, as long as you deliver it into out.
Okay. Oh, or not.
I think I got you thinking about it now, don't I?
Yep. I'll just forget you said anything and just hit. How's that sound?
just use that normal swing.
Yep. That was the same spot, about 225-ish, and that was a nice little draw. So those are all playable.
All right, perfect. Any questions with any of the long clubs before we jump over to the putting green?
No, I don't think so. I think for me, and if ever anyone is still having issues, just go back and rewatch that last video. I had to go do that before the scramble just to kind of get some of the stuff in my head. But honestly, I think it's just knowing what to focus on and then practicing it. So yeah, and obviously consistency was my only issue, and we covered that here. And it's just, you know, don't go balls to the wall and actually focus on the mechanics until they're solid. So I think we've got it.
Yeah, and the more you practice, you know, it's funny because when you think of somebody being a scratch golfer or, you know, the pro golfers, they're out there practicing, you know, they're hitting not one bucket of balls a day. You know, they're hitting 3, 4, 5 buckets. They're spending hours a day working on their game. So they've built up that consistency. And I understand for, you know, guys just starting and amateurs and people that work full time, it's hard to get out there and build a consistent swing and build everything. So even if you take what we've learned and you get 30 minutes at home at night, you know, you can jump in the backyard and just work on those swings. You don't even need to hit a ball, just kind of work on the mechanics. It'll help build that consistency. So, you know, I want everybody to keep that in mind. But I think with that being said, let's head over to the green.
All right, sounds good.
So, all right, guys, we're back with Zach. He's on the putting green. And so we're going to work on some putting tips and tricks to help him lower scores on the green. There's really, I mean, let's face it, there's 1,000 ways to putt. And if you guys haven't heard me say it yet, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. It's all about what we can do to improve to get our ball in the hole. So what I'm going to have Zach do is just hit a couple putts here towards the camera so I can kind of see a couple things here and see which way they come off and see if I can pick up his club angle as he's coming through. And then we're going to walk through some tips that he's not going to have to change his putting stroke. We're going to lower his score without ever touching his putting stroke. So Zach, go ahead and those 5 balls you have, just send them towards us.
Okay, that's good. And you don't want to change anything about my setup or my stroke or anything. Here's a couple.
Okay, good. So one of the things that you really got going for you, Zach, right off the bat, that I don't see a lot of, especially with new golfers, is you're using your shoulders to create your speed. Your wrists are not breaking, and that's very important because when you start breaking your wrist on a putt and you get real wristy with a putt, you can't build consistency with your putting stroke. So for guys, if you can face the camera, Zach, and kind of show us what your setup looks like.
Yeah, is this close enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So honestly, this is just my golfing buddy gave me some tips because I didn't really have a solid putt, so I set it up just to inside of my left foot. And I do the same hook. I like to have my finger down here, and that's it right there. My stroke is just
perfect. All right, so what I want you to do, and Zach, you're going to have to just kind of repeat so the camera picks back up on you after this. But what I want everybody to notice is Zach creates a triangle with his arms.
okay. Can you see that?
Perfect. So when Zach creates that triangle and then uses his shoulders, he's basically building a pendulum. So if you're somebody that right now uses your wrist to putt, stop. Just quit using your wrist. Take a look at what Zach does here and build yourself a triangle and just use your shoulders to create the distance and turn and build your power. But the next thing I want to do with Zach, and this is a tip that you guys can use at home, is Zach, I want you to grab a tee and then take a couple of your balls, and that pin that's right beside your balls, I want you to take like five regular steps back away from the camera towards the road.
Right here.
All right. So now what I want you to do is to go ahead and put your balls down right in that area.
Okay.
And I want you to putt up to that hole. But what I want you to do is go ahead and set up your putt. And I want you to put that tee, like get set up, get comfortable, put that tee lined up with your right toe, the right big toe.
Pointing where my ball is going to go?
Nope, just stick it in the ground at your right big toe.
Stick it in the ground at the right big toe. All right.
Yep. And now you should be in your, yep. And now what you should do is go ahead, set up for your putt. And what I want you to work on is, and we may have to adjust the tee, but what I want you to get the feeling of is bring that club back to that tee and then follow through the same distance. So go ahead and hit the ball, but just bring it back to the tee and go through.
Okay, sounds good. There we go.
Okay, so we know by taking those 5 steps, Zach, that you took away, that you're about 15 feet because the average human step is about 3 feet. So every time you take a step, you're adding 3 feet to your putt. So now, so that one went about 12. Move that tee to the outside of your right foot. And same thing. Swing back to that tee and follow through the same distance.
Yeah, okay. Stopped about 3 feet past the hole. Had a bad line, but
okay. So then take the tee and put it right in the middle of your right foot.
Yeah.
And swing to that tee and follow through the same distance.
Okay. missed
Bingo.
the hole, but stopped right at the hole. Yeah.
Okay. So now, Zach, what I just showed you is your distance for a 15-foot putt.
Okay.
So what you can now do is continually, and it doesn't matter where you're at. You can do it at home. You can do it, at any course you go to, at any putting green. Go ahead and put that tee in the middle of your right foot and build yourself a muscle memory of that 15-foot putt.
Okay. And then same with the 12 or the 18, which I now know is inside or outside of my foot.
Exactly. So you've got 3 different distances. You've got a 12, a 15, and an 18-foot putt. Now, if you know you've got a 6-foot putt, what's your easy math?
Half of the 12. So if I had a 6, it would be about that.
Bingo.
About half.
Yep. And now you also need to think about it in terms of the other way. So if you've got a 30-foot putt, you're going to double your 15-foot putt.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and walk even further back towards those golf carts?
All right.
Okay, right there is good.
There's another 5 steps.
Okay. So I don't want you to put the tee down. That's going to be your drill to work on your homework. But right now, what I want you to do is stop and take your steps from your ball position and walk up to that hole.
So walk from here to the ball or to the hole.
Mm-hmm.
That what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay. 10 steps, easy math. How far is that?
30 feet.
30 feet. So go ahead and do the math in your head. You know where your stuff is or where your swing is for a 15-footer. So what should you be doing?
Just double that. See if we can quite double that. Give it a shot. A little hard. That was about 35 feet-ish. Try it again. That was 30 foot 6 inches. That was right there. $30 foot on the dot.
So by building the muscle memory for your 15-foot putt, you can adjust simply by knowing and counting those strokes. And what I think you and anybody watching this needs to focus on is something like this, a 30-foot putt. Your goal is really, honestly, anything over 10 foot. 10 feet and in, you can really expect to make it, or at least have a 50-50 chance of making it. Once you get up to about 20 feet, even the pros on tour only make 1 of 10. They're only 20% from 20 feet. So your goal, the further you get, is to try and get it within what I call the 4-foot circle. Just get it somewhere within 4 feet, because at 4 feet, most people can make 75, 80% of their putts.
Okay.
So walking it off and knowing your distance, now you have the distance control where a 30-foot putt like the one you're hitting, guess what? Where are they all right about 4 feet, right?
Yeah, I think the farthest one is 4 or 5 feet.
All right. So
the other is 6 inches and then 18 inches.
All right. So go ahead, Zach. Walk us through your thought process right now and hit these last two.
Okay. So just my normal setup. I have it, a couple of inches off my inside left foot. And then I'm going, so my 15-foot putt was to the center of my foot. So I'm going maybe about a foot behind that foot through. So go ahead and do that. Oh, there's a little hill on the other side, so it went down. But that one's even still probably 7 feet or so. Let's try it again. It's probably a little hard. That one was just offline, but it would have been really close. So all within, it's 2 feet off the hole right now. So.
Okay. So most of those are all pretty good. And especially, only being a couple weeks in, being able to get those putts closer is very important. Now, in terms of aligning where you want your putt to start, do you use the line on the ball at all?
I don't know. I just kind of line up my feet how I think they should point that way, and then just kind of hit it towards the hole.
Okay. So the other thing I want to show you that's going to help your putting pretty quickly is if you go ahead, just, grab those 3 balls there and kind of, somewhere in there. Now, with that putt to that hole, what are you seeing on the green?
As far as like the lie goes?
Yeah, like what kind of breaks are you seeing? Which way do you think the balls are going to turn?
Slightly left, if anything. It's pretty straight, but it's a little bit right to left.
Okay. So what I want you to do is we're going to do a 2-step process here. First things first, and maybe those 2 balls further back there, maybe just pull them back so you have room to work with that one up front. Okay. So what I want you to do first is walk off your distance.
Okay. So 1, 2.5, about 7-8 feet.
Okay. Now, you think it's going to turn a little bit left. So on the side of your ball, you should see an alignment aid. I want you to line that up with a spot not out by the hole, but a spot about a foot in front of the ball where you think it needs to go over so that it turns enough to get into the hole.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Now I want you to go ahead and line up and get ready to hit it. And from up above, what I want you to do is tell me how you feel like you're aiming, and then go ahead and hit your putt.
Okay. Based on my feet, I feel like I'm aiming right at the hole. The line on the ball is just slightly outside of the hole. We'll give it a hit and find out. Yep, that was too far right.
Okay.
So there's no break. It's pretty straight.
Okay. Same process though, then put that ball kind of right dead center in line with the hole.
Okay. And that actually is helping. I'm lining up on the line on the ball instead of just kind of what I feel. And it's a bit different than what I felt. So, oh, and that was very close. I would have been farther right with how I was aimed before I lined up on the ball. Okay. All right, all a little bit right, but I did line up a little more like I normally do, which would put me more right than the ball was lined up. So that's something to practice for me.
Okay. So what I want you to do, Zach, is there was something I noticed on the first one. Once it was lined up, it doesn't look like your feet were actually square to the line of the target.
Okay.
So go ahead and line that ball up right where you want to start it. then what I want you to do is go ahead, put your club behind it and keep your feet together.
Club behind it, as in like that?
Put it behind so that that line on the back of your club lines up with the line on the ball.
Okay.
No, take your stance is what I mean.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No,
Go ahead, take your stance, but keep your feet together.
Like this?
Yep. Okay. So now do the line on your putter and the line on the ball look like they're one and the same?
Yep.
Okay. Now widen your feet.
Okay. I wanted to adjust it because it looks off to me, but I think that's probably more accurate. Does that look square?
From what I can see, that's probably going to put you more square. So go ahead. Tell me how you feel with that and then hit it.
Okay. It feels a little off, but it's definitely pointing more left than my other one, which is worse. So let's try it. And I made it go right with I unlocked my wrist a little bit. Let's try it again. There we go. Oh, that is a lot closer though.
So what you're doing, Zach, what it looks like just from what I can see here is it looks like your feet, even though you feel like you're square to it, you're not. So what's happening is your left foot is just a little bit in front of your right foot, and that's causing you to push it.
Okay. So do the same thing, line up. More like that.
Just drop your left foot like half an inch.
Like that?
Yep.
Oh. Okay. Maybe it's a touch more. I think I'm compensating with my upper body.
Yeah, I think in your head, what's happening is you're not trusting the alignment.
I'm not. Nope.
So let's do this. Let's switch positions. Why don't you kind of walk a couple feet there, take those balls, walk towards that golf cart behind you.
Yep.
And right in there.
Same thing. Line it up and walk out the distance.
Yep. Line it up, walk out the distance so you know your putt. And which way do you think this is going to turn?
Honestly, it's pretty straight up. If I go too far to the left, it is going to go right to left, but it looks like it's a straight line if I actually hit it right. It's about a 17 or 18 foot putt. Okay. Got the ball lined up, club lined up, toes lined up. Okay, let's try that. Yep, I readjusted my foot.
Mm-hmm.
Ball's lined up. Putter is lined up. Feet are not. All right, did go right to left a little bit. That was much better though.
But what I'm seeing from that angle, Zach, is what you do is when you move your feet and separate them, you're dropping your right foot back.
Okay.
So that's why you were getting the push on the first couple and missing to the right, is because you're dropping that right foot back. Once you widen out your stance, don't move.
Don't move. Okay. Let's see if I can. Lined up. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hit hard enough, but that probably would have gone in. So focused on the aiming part right now, I think. Okay. Line on the ball, line on the club. 18-foot putt distance. And I did. I dropped it back even when I stepped. So that usually the most common problem when aiming putts is feet are not in alignment.
Yeah, it's very common. What that does is make your shoulders work out of alignment.
Try this again. Okay.
Okay.
Well, something to practice.
Yeah, so what you want to do is, as weird as it sounds, once you separate your feet and everything feels like it's on plane with that line on the back of the ball and your target line, you almost want to feel like you put your feet in concrete. You just want to kind of stand still. Now, one of the other things that will help you with that is if you get yourself a couple of alignment sticks.
Okay.
And you can either order those online, or if you run to Home Depot or Lowe's and go into like the garage section, they got the little reflectors you can put on the side of your driveway. They're actually cheaper and they're the exact same thing. And then what you can do is put one behind the ball right on that target line as a drill, and then put one right where your feet would be so that your feet are right on that target line.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm even adjusting. I'm just gonna put one more right here. Okay. So I need some alignment sticks.
Yep.
And learn my distances with the tee.
There it is. And it feels like you're out of alignment, right? It feels like your feet are not facing the right way.
Yeah, no, it feels like I'm aiming really far left.
Yeah.
But that was perfectly on.
Just left it. But yeah, that's what's happening with you is your feet are getting out of whack. They're not in alignment with your shoulders and the target line with the putt.
Okay.
The one other thing I do want to give you a tip on is when you walk off your putts and figure out your distance. Usually what I do is I pay attention to my playing partners, make sure I'm not walking through one of their lines.
Yes.
And then
did that my first round.
And then to protect my own ball, I usually will take a step to the left or a step to the right and then count off my steps, just so that I make sure I don't get in my own line as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I would say. Obviously, you want to continue working on your whole game as a, overall. But if you work on those and keep working on those drills, you're going to cut down on 3 putts. You're going to find the bottom of the cup with, a long putt, maybe once, twice around, something like that. But work on those drills, get your muscle memory for your 15-foot putt, and then, just get comfortable. And like I said, get yourself a couple alignment sticks. You can order them off a golf place, but when you order them off a golf place, they charge you, $12, $15 for 2 of them when you can run to Home Depot and get a pair of them for $4.
Okay.
So I would check on those to help work on your alignment. And those will actually help with your alignment with your clubs as well. But that's, keep working on this putting. It's something, even if you get a rug at home or something like that, just work on that distance and just over and over build that muscle memory, and your putting's going to improve with, just regular practice. And it's simple enough. You can work on it at home.
Okay.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. Any questions for me, Zach, from this week?
I don't think so. I think I need to work on the putting drill, and maybe this will be a video that you can do. But I guess, how do you know without going and getting fit, like length of putter, type putter? I know there's a lot of personal preference in there, but honestly, I just bought this because it was an Odyssey putter and it was $40 on my local classified. So are there any tips on that, or things I should look at, or just get used to this and not worry about it?
I mean, my experience has been I've never been fit for a putter. You know, I'm a taller guy, and it comes down to personal preference. So I play a 35 inch. I like a heavier head. I like a heavier weight and a heavier feel. And I also like a blade look. Some guys don't like the blade look. They like a mallet look. They like the weight a little more spread out, a lighter head. You know, it's being fit for a putter is always a good thing if you can do it and you have the extra cash and have the time. It's always a good thing to do. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether you go get fit or not, if you practice your putting, have the right stroke, know your distances with the putter you're using, and know how to line it up, then you can improve your putting without having to be fit and without having to go buy a $400 Scotty Cameron, which, by the way, guys, I love the idea, but I wouldn't go spend $400 on a putter when there are ones with the same weight, same look, same shape that you can get for 150 or 200 for half the price. But sometimes in a name, that's what people want. But if you know your distances and you can get it aligned properly, it's going to cut down on your putting.
Awesome. Well, I will stick with my $40 Odyssey putter and get these putts down.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, Zach, thanks again. Hopefully, you know, next time we talk, your putting has improved along with everything else, and those scores keep dropping. You know, at some point here, we'll have to get you out there for a round and maybe take the video, and we'll play a hole or two through the camera lens and get you through that way. But again, guys, check out Zach's channel, Muscular Style. We've got the link down to his workout, the Bryson-like workout, down below. So check that out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and the notifications bell right beside it. Social media, Facebook and Instagram at Single Length School, over on Twitter at One Length School, and singlelengthschool.com. You can reach out, contact me there, buy online packages like we do with Zach here. And you can check out our partners and check out some of the cool golf websites where you can go get some cool products and save some money. So, guys, thanks again for watching. Next week, Zach, what do you feel like working on?
I don't know. I think maybe we'll leave that a surprise, and I'll think about it. We'll see what we need to work on.
Sounds good. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Zach, thanks again, and we will see everyone next week.